It was late 1990s, and the HRT industry came out of nowhere. It's a big boom about awareness about hormone replacement therapy. And then I started seeing a lot of customers and clients walk in and out dealing with hormone replacement therapy, and the options were out there. There's big campaign movements from pharmaceutical companies and even natural companies with substitutes, and it exploded. It was about everybody was into what hormone health is. During that time, I was entering a phase of my life where I was doing mixed martial arts with some of my jiu-jitsu friends. The Gracie family were my neighbors, and I started doing some weightlifting. I used to play soccer before. I was scrawny and weak, tired, and then people would push me around. And when I started doing jiu-jitsu, my bodybuilding friends came to me through my store, my clients, my friends. They would come to me like, "Hey, you need to start training. You need to put some muscle on, so nobody's pushing you around in the dojo on the mat, and then nobody pushes you around on the field." So I started also training and weightlifting with my friends and bodybuilding friends, and I noticed something extremely unique. There's a problem that the injectables were causing in my friends' lives. They would give them instant gratification and some of the performance issues and some of the look and feel immediately, but it would create a long-term destruction to their endocrine system. And I found out the dangers and the side effects of the injectables. And I started looking into finding a solution to that issue to help my friends out, because I was seeing that these people look amazing. They're doing shows and performances, yet at the same time, their trainers help them cycle off and on products continuously. What this caused is when they're cycling off, they were feeling depressed, tired, fatigued. They couldn't perform. They didn't want to be with their wives. They were in tears. They didn't want to go to work. It was a really awful place to be, specifically for people that are not barely 25 years of age, that are supposed to feel that they're invincible at this time of their lives. So this is when I started working on developing SomaDerm. My friends are using it, my family's using it, and all of a sudden my friends are coming to me. It's growing one by one. The results are pouring in. Those young, amazing people are feeling great, off and on cycling. Their body's recovering. Their endocrine system is functioning better. They're not fatigued and stressed. And the journey's taken its course. We're talking here a year or two into the product when I was approached by an older gentleman back then. Older meaning his 40s. So I was 30 back then. So this gentleman comes to me. He's like, "Yeah, I heard about this product from my buddies at the gym, and they tell me how much they love it and they feel amazing about it. Look, I would like to try it. I mean, I know it's recommended mostly. Most of the people who are using it are young people that are cycling and doing training shows. And can I use it? He's like, I just work out once in a while and I ride the bike once in a while. Can I use it?" And I didn't see any harm in doing that. But to be honest with you about the story of what happened to this gentleman, when he came back to me and gave me the testimonial, and half of the time he received all the benefits that those young people did. And I wanted to go to the lab and find out, why did he get the results so much faster? He's 10, 20, 15 years older than the average person using it at the time. So I find out from the chemists and the doctors that as we get older, we start the aging process. And when we start the aging process, we start feeling the effects of aging. Our sleep, our energy, our recovery is slower. And when you experience AGH at an older age, you'll get the results a lot quicker because you haven't felt that good for a few years. And this is where I learned that, yes, if you're older, and we started with those 20, 25-year-old, athletes using it to get fire and perform above the normal level, and they got success. But when the first gentleman over 40 tried the product, he got the same results in half of the time. And now medically, it makes more sense than ever. So this is when I started seeing a shift, and the older people started getting real benefit they really needed, while the younger people were getting it just to be superhuman and get extreme strength and improve their performance. Older people needed it just to feel well, like the improved sleep and recovery and energy and mood, and the basic initial benefits of supporting healthy HGH levels. From that moment, a few months later, I had the first female that came into my store telling me, I keep hearing about the HGH gel. I want to try it. I mean, I read a little bit about HGH, and I know some women use it as well. And I said, okay, I mean, I don't see any HGH is produced by women as well, not only men, so of course you can use it. She came back with it 7 days, giving me in tears how happy she was about the results she experienced from the product. What was intriguing to me is that she got the results in such a short period of time. This lady, our first lady using SomaDerm, actually experienced the same results the men were getting, but in even half of the time. And it made so much sense when I learned through the professionals, through science, that actually women use all their hormones in a more balanced way, while men are testosterone predominant, so they feel the effect after the rise of testosterone to a certain level before they appreciate the product, even though it's working regardless, while women will start benefiting and feeling the benefit based on the fact that they use all their hormones together. And this is when the company flipped. We went from 99%, 100% men in their 20s, to being 50-50 men in their 20s and men in their 40s plus, and then today we're 75% plus women, and this is our journey from day one, how we started with SomaDerm organically to where we end today, and the journey of how the product actually benefited people of all ages, going from young men to older men, and then women experiencing the benefit from this unbelievable SomaDerm. So I was doing retail. I started retail. I spent extreme amounts of time with every person at a time, every customer or client at a time, educating them about the product, and organically they would go out and share the story with people they care about. Then I got approached by business owners, health food store owners, and dojo owners, and we started doing, B2B, direct to business, and they started sharing about the product and grew from there. Then I had a distribution company that distributes national, and a couple of store chains approached me, and the product started going coast to coast, and organically got into that phase of growth. But again, it was based on me educating every single person on this product, literally one-on-one, even the store owners, even the distribution representatives, and meetings with them constantly. When I had my first meeting with our master distributor, where he was a natural, organic client that heard about the product through my earlier channels, he got me on that early phone call, and I was able to talk to a few hundred people at once. A couple of months later, I started hearing their stories. And when I heard their stories, I knew right there I was extremely committed to that mission, because people sharing with people is one of the most powerful tools. Number one. Number two, people sharing with product is organic and it's honest. And with having a product that's actually already proven and been around for more than a decade and a half, and people actually confirmed that the fact that I'm getting the same exact benefits when I started with the product 15 years before in 2001, I felt extremely confident in giving that opportunity to the people.
I left the industry in 2015. I left the industry because I saw an industry that was flat. I saw an industry where if one company had something, for instance, there was the juice boom, and then there was the tree to bottle boom, and then there was the nutrition boom, then there was, the shake boom was way before the juice boom. But it was like everybody was doing the same things. You've heard the term Me Too. And in 2015, Lee and I decided to walk away from the industry. And we pretty much, for a year, closed our ears off and said, we're not interested in looking at anything. And we did some other entrepreneurial things. It was going to take a unique, exclusive, one-of-a-kind category creator to pull me out of retirement. And that's what I found. So I heard about the gel in the spring of 2017. Okay, as a matter of fact, the gentleman that called me, I didn't have a lot of faith in. Let's just say that. Okay, but when I heard what the product was, I thought to myself, if this is real, and then I heard about, the NDC code, I said, I want to know more about this product. And that was the initial find was the product, was the gel, how you put it on, what was in it, how it was represented, its status, if you will. And that's what drew me towards Alexi. When I met Alexi, it went to a whole new level. It went to a whole new level. There was a call set up, actually a three-way call. That was the very first time that I ever met Alexi, was over the phone. And I was extremely impressed because he was thinking about taking this thing to direct sales, or he was thinking about taking this direct to consumer, okay, where television advertising, you get your free bottle. So it was either this or that. So when I knew this phone call was coming, I was prepared, geographically, demographically, financially, to answer these types of questions, as in what I could do for him. But ironically, none of these questions came from him, and I was a little taken back. What impressed me about him was he just started talking about the product and how he made it, how he started working on it in 2001 for professional athletes, and how it blossomed into him selling it to his family and then his clients, and then this whole timeline of 17 years. And I was like, this guy, what I sensed is this man believes in this product. And I'm very intrigued with that. When you know someone believes in something, you want to know what they know. You want to experience what they're experiencing. And that's what I got from him. I loved his philosophies. I loved his honesty. I loved the fact that he wasn't about money. What I learned about Alexi was he was the polar opposite of the other ownership that I've been exposed to in my first 23 years in the industry in direct sales. Not that they were bad people. They were great people. He was different, though. He was different than anyone I've ever seen, and he was interested in taking his product to the marketplace, and there was nothing about money. He said, if we can get this product in the hands of the people. And I thought, my goodness, this is the first time I've ever heard anyone speak. He knows his product. He knows the ingredients. He knows how to apply it. He knows the effects of it. He knows how to answer questions that are asked about it. I was so impressed. So it drew me to him to want to know what he knew, to want to know about the product, to want to sell the product, to want to share the product. And that is the very first thing that we did.
Joe, when I first spoke to him on the phone, it's like speaking to a Cessna fly over you, if that makes any sense. Everything he said didn't make sense to me. 90% of his lingo I didn't understand. Eventually, we connected on integrity and honesty and loyalty and family, as this should be the core of any future relevant business if it's going to be a board coming out of anything.
I told everybody that you were the polar opposite of what I was used to as far as ownership and leadership of companies in the industry, because you didn't talk about money. You didn't ask me what I was going to do for you. You talked about the product, how to use it, what it was made of, the effects that people may observe, and how you wanted to get this in the hands of the people. And that's why you were looking at expanding just from your stores. And I was impressed with that, because we didn't talk about money, and I was all prepared to talk about money, and I thought, wow, this is different. So different is good. My definition of the direct sales industry of a whole is to help others reach their goals and dreams. I keep it very simple. If you go in thinking about making money, you won't make money. You go in thinking about helping people, you will help people. Because, and the money comes if you help enough people. There's a saying that says, money makes you more of what you are. Okay, and that's what's so awesome about New You Life. We have created wealth for a lot of people. It's exponential on how it's like putting a pebble in a pond. That pebble is SomaDerm, and these rings just go out, and it affects people, man. So Alexi was looking at direct sales, but he was also thinking about direct to consumer, and the people he was talking to there could raise tens of millions of dollars in the blink of an eye. But what I learned about Alexi is he was very cautious. He did not want to just give up his product rights. He cared about, now he calls it his baby. So he's very intelligent, and I thought the only way I'm going to be able to outsmart him is get a bunch of my people, my contacts on the product. So I asked him to do a conference call. We had right at 100 people on the conference call, and we start working towards this. And I said, tell them what it is, what's in it, how to use it, what they could possibly expect, and I'll tell them we're going to come back in a little less than 2 months and do a second call. So that was the very first course of action that I took, because he did not make the definitive decision there's going to be a company in direct sales. We had not made any commitments to one another.
You're absolutely right. He got me, created a connection, and that made me commit to the model because of how effective it is. And I'm used to talking to one client at a time and spending half an hour to 2 hours with one client talking about a product, SomaDerm, right? And then, I got elevated to talking to one dojo owner at a time, or one gym owner at a time, or one store owner at a time, because it grew organically. And then distributors would call me, and I would spend time talking to their marketing and sales team, teaching them about the product. Then they buy it in bulk. But when Joe got me on the hook with a small, kind of like almost a private, family, right, that he exposed me to, and I started hearing their stories. I've never met these people anywhere, and I felt like I'm talking to one of my clients. I was in tears like a baby. He was laughing at me.
He stopped it at like 9 or 10, and he goes, all right, stop. And I could tell he was weeping. He's not making this up. I could tell he had tears in his eyes. I was like, wow, I was right about this guy. He's definitely different. This is awesome. I'm like, what's he going to say? And I kind of knew what he was going to say. And he says, right now, I just made the decision we're going to start putting the company together. And it started right there. We went at it like next couple days. Policies and procedures, compensation plan, phone system, all this stuff, and that's when it started.
Yeah, out of the giant office, 10 by 15 or something like that. Yeah. With that massive amount of team with like 2.5 people.
The first year, every week, every month was touch and go. Banking was tough, shipping, logistics, and fulfillment was tough. But with the amount of business and volume that we had coming in, we were ill prepared to service it. So we didn't know if we were going to make it, because we didn't have the staff. We didn't have the staff to handle the sheer massive volume that was entering the company. It was unbelievable how we got through it. But what was so cool about Alexi is he learned on the fly. And he had some great hires that he brought on to help us. And we started building. Like that first year, I don't know how we did it, but most companies, they get excited if they do 2 million in volume in their first year. Well, we did 60 million. And we paid out almost $32 million. And I'm going to go back to Alexi on this, because when we started, there were a few things, and I'm going to mention one of them here, that I told Alexi that he has to do in this industry. Most companies in our industry share about 37 to 42% of the sales volume in the compensation plan that goes back to the distributor. I said, Alexi, if you want to build something great, pay the people well. And he said, what do you mean by that? I said, if $1 comes in, share 50 cents of that dollar. Take the other 50 cents, keep it for paying the staff, keep it for, investing in product and the future of the company. I said, but give half of it back to the distributors. Make less money on each sale, but you'll do tremendous volume, because the people will get excited because you're sharing half of the volume with them. Not only did he give 50%, but if you look statistically at what we've done over the last 5 years, Alexi has paid over 52% back to the field. What that has done is energized the individual distributor to say, I will go to bat for New You Life, because they care about investing in me and paying me well for the volume and the people that I bring here off the sales that I create. And Alexi, as he got better and better, he built a corporate force. Year 2, was way better than year one. I mean, I think we did 150 million and we got named the fastest growing young direct sales company in the world. I was like, holy smokes, what is going on here? And then we started moving into Hong Kong and we started having an international expansion. So he started bringing on an international team. And it wasn't too long after that, like in our third year, when we got a 30,000 square foot office in Lehi, Utah. I mean, the best of the best, state of the art. That was beautiful. So it's been this progression as we have grown, and it just keeps going and going and going. But it's been impressive to see this company go from zero to being 5 years old now with a complete corporate staff that, by the way, communicates very well with the distributors, and that's what I love about this. It's not like there's two sides. There's not a corporate in a field. We're a team that communicates. We have calls every week. The company listens to us and works with us and makes things better. So the progression of us bringing this category creating product to the marketplace, being prepared to handle the volume that was to come, to growing into this corporate entity that can handle the growth, that can handle what this value proposition brings to the world. It's been amazing to see, and I've seen it from day one. I've watched the company grow, I've watched Alexi grow, I've watched our corporate team grow, I've watched our field grow, and that's what I love about New You Life. This went from, man, we love this product, what if it works, into, oh my goodness, we cannot believe how this made us feel, we want to share this, and it turned into a mission, and now it's a global mission.
30 plus years in the making to date, 25 years in the making 5 years ago. It was definitely took a lot of hard work and steps and a lot of falling down and getting up, a lot of bumps and hurdles. So when we started forging the core of New You Life, I realized very quickly that New You Life is about one thing. It's about you. This is where that big you comes in. You control your destiny. You provide the opportunity. You change other people's lives. You share the story. You learn. You grow. It's your life. It's a new you as you grow. It's a new you as you create an opportunity for yourself and for others. It's New You Life. I can't say it any simpler than that. This company is for you. This company is by you. This company is yours to take to any place you want and use it as your platform to change people's lives, to change your life, to create opportunity for people that they haven't. More important than anything, for us to do this together, create a movement, change lives together, and be able to give back to people that don't have the opportunities we have.